TV, your prime time leader.
2, 1.
Welcome to the office where our door is always open. On this episode, we're going to be tackling the issue of personal branding. What does it mean? Is it all about social media presence, or is there something deeper to the concept of branding yourself? We're joined by a very special guest who is going to be helping us navigate this issue and shed some light on it. But after the break. Thanks for staying with us. Don't go anywhere.
The business environment is rapidly evolving. We must continually adapt to remain competitive. At HRWise, we help businesses create and sustain a competitive advantage through their people. Let us help you develop solutions for recruiting and selecting the right talent, improving employee engagement, managing performance, and much more. Realize the true potential of your workforce. Harness the power of your people. HRWise, we partner for success.
Great deal on my furniture. Great stuff. Super strong. Best thing on the market.
Your furniture says a lot about your business. For best quality, durability, and style, Global Office Furniture from Rennick is the only choice for any serious business. Don't be fooled by cheap supplies from other commercial houses. Let Global Furniture speak for your business. Think Rennick and Company. Think global, because value is always in style.
I'm often asked, what's the best part of my job? And I'm quick to say, it's the tasty part. The presentation, the cooking, the creativity, the quality. The moment I peek to see another satisfied guest and client in all possible settings, cutting, biting, sharing, and smiling, knowing our team at GCG Events is simply outstanding.
With God as my guide, I pledge allegiance to my country, St. Lucia. I promise that I will serve my country with pride and dignity and defend it with vigor and valor in the pursuit of excellence, justice, and equality for all.
My heart, my home, my St. Lucia. Show your sense of pride and patriotism.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. On the topic of personal brand, let me ask you, what do you think when you hear the name personal branding? Is it all about social media, what you see on Instagram, Facebook, and even Snapchat? That's where people tend to hide all the fun stuff. But stop for a minute. When you hear your name or you hear the name of someone else, what's the first thing that comes to mind? What do you think about their work ethic? What do you think about their reputation? These are some of the things that we'll be talking about on the topic of personal branding. And I am joined by my lovely co-host and Managing Director of HRWise, Miss Goretti Paul, to help me talk about the topic of personal branding. Hello.
Hi, Dee.
So you tell me a little bit, G, what do you think about the topic of personal branding? What does it mean to you?
Well, I think it's a reflection of who you are, or at least who you want to be. Okay. Because, you know, I always say we're a work in progress.
Yes.
Work in progress. I mean, we learn as we go along. But I think personal branding demonstrates a reflection of you, the person. You know, what is valuable to you? What means the most to you? What is a true reflection of who you are and what you stand for? I think, you know, when we talk about personal branding, we need to think of all of these things in that conversation.
I'm very curious about your position on the social media presence. I know you say all of that, but I know there are individuals who go out there and deliberately craft their image.
Well, you know, I've had a few posts on that.
They craft their image so that they project
Yes.
this particular
facade.
This facade. No, but you did say that who you want to be, and we're a work in progress. So are they really wrong for doing that, or do you think it's fake? Or where do we even draw the line between projection and being genuine?
I think we need to stay true to ourselves as much as possible. So I don't favor persons who create this false impression online. You know, we have persons who've created this beautiful profile online,
Yes.
living the perfect life, when we know that does not exist.
Yes.
So I will never agree to, you know, creating a facade or something that is so far from who you are. For me, it's about just sharing a little bit about you, what you stand for, you know, what matters to you, and just showing a true reflection of who you are. That's what it means to me. I mean, I try to be very genuine. Well, for people who know me,
Yes.
what you see is what you get.
But then we're joined by someone who can even give us some more information on personal branding. Do you care to introduce this person?
Yes, absolutely. We are joined by a gentleman who considers himself to be a youth development technocrat. He was very specific. And a lover of youth development. He has been involved in youth development from a very tender age, and he has been in various youth organizations, including the St. Lucia Cadet Corps and the Duke of Edinburgh Award Program. He was awarded the gold medal by Prince Harry on his visit to St. Lucia in 2017.
Imagine that.
Yeah. He also served as a youth parliamentarian as Prime Minister and is currently pursuing his first degree in criminal justice. His hope is to further his education overseas and return to St. Lucia to contribute even greater to the youth development mandate. He's a former General Secretary of the National Youth Council, and currently he is a very well-known voice and local youth advocate. It is my pleasure to welcome Mr. Wendel Bertrand. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Ms. Paul.
Good.
It's my pleasure.
Good.
Thanks for being on the show with us.
Yeah, so Wendel, you heard our little intro.
Yes, I did.
What is your position on personal branding?
Well, my position on personal branding, when I think of it, I think it's an image that somebody puts on, whether it is good or bad. And it's supposed to be something that's authentic. And it's supposed to be something that markets you, what you do, what you believe in, why you do it.
Right.
And a lot of people probably wouldn't understand, but personal branding starts even from a tender age, from probably preschool going up to secondary and to college level. And it involves a lot. And it does not only start at a young age or, let's say, adolescent. It starts way before that,
Right.
in your community, in your churches, in your homes, in your schools. So this is my take on where or what I believe personal branding is. It is how somebody portrays the image out there, how the public views you, how the public perceives you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, do you go ahead?
How important do you think it is? Because you'll have individuals that say, well, you know what, this is who I am, and I should not be bothered with trying to impress anybody in order to get anywhere in life. How important do you think developing your brand is to really reaching where you need to go?
I'll tell you something. What I notice about us in the region, or even St. Lucia perhaps, is that we do not place an emphasis or importance on thinking about our future. For example, me, I can say from a young age, when I was in school, I did not know what I wanted to do, or I did not believe that, you know, I had such a bright future. And here I am today, and if I knew better then, then I think I would have probably been in a better position today. So I think it is extremely crucial, it's extremely important to have a brand, or to rather to build a personal brand.
Right.
So it's not something that you can say that you do not need it for you to go anywhere in life. Even when you seek employment, you seek other opportunities, you apply for university, you apply for college, they ask you to write an essay as to why you want to join the university, why you want to join the college.
Yes.
What are you going to do with that degree?
Right.
All of that takes in your personal brand. What have you been doing? What you're up to? What you're planning to do?
Yeah. What are your
So
goals?
it does have an impact. It does have some kind of implications for you in the future, whether you believe it or not. Whether you say that you don't need a brand or you don't need to impress nobody to go anywhere. But in truth and in fact, you need to look at the opposite side of it and see that it is really important going forward, especially when you get to that point where you really need it. Because people will be looking, people will, like you say in your introduction, Googling it. Even when you go for your first job interview, your HR manager, whoever the specialists are doing the human resource, will look up your LinkedIn profile, they will look up your Facebook profile, they'll look at your Instagram profile to see what have you been up to, what have you been doing. So for me, I would say that it is not an issue of you don't need to impress anybody, but thinking ahead, thinking what your future will be like, your future prospects and that kind of thing.
Well, thank you, Wendel. We'll definitely be discussing this and so much more. But after the break, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
A great deal on my furniture. Great stuff. Super strong. Best thing on the market.
Your furniture says a lot about your business. For best quality, durability, and style, Global Office Furniture from Renick is the only choice for any serious business. Don't be fooled by cheap supplies from other commercial houses. Let Global Furniture speak for your business. Think Renick and Company. Think global, because value is always in style.
The business environment is rapidly evolving. We must continually adapt to remain competitive. At HRWise, we help businesses create and sustain a competitive advantage through their people. Let us help you develop solutions for recruiting and selecting the right talent, improving employee engagement, managing performance, and much more. Realize the true potential of your workforce. Harness the power of your people. HRWise, we partner for success.
I'm often asked, what's the best part of my job? And I'm quick to say, it's the tasty part. The presentation, the cooking, the creativity, the quality. The moment I peek to see another satisfied guest and client in all possible settings, cutting, biting, sharing, and smiling, knowing our team at GCG Events is simply outstanding.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We've been talking personal brand with Mr. Wendel Bertrand. Wendel, before the break we were talking about persons who feel that they don't have to prove themselves to anybody, so why focus on personal brand? And I was about to say that I've had, from my own experience, I've had these discussions on multiple occasions with persons who believe that they don't have to fit into the box that society has created. While I agree to some extent, I have learned to appreciate that perception carries a lot of weight.
Yes.
And so because of that, we still have to remain mindful of how people perceive things. So I tend to stay away from anything that's a little too political.
Too controversial.
Too controversial. That will draw too much attention. You know, so I know earlier you made a reference to that, but I just wanted to highlight the fact that when we talk about personal brand, we need to take into consideration that whether we like to accept it or not,
Yes.
perception is everything.
Yes.
And relationships
Yes.
are the foundation of everything.
Right.
I mean, if you think about when you need something and you can't get it, you you go to a government ministry or a particular organization and you need something urgently and you can't get it, what do? You pick up the phone and call somebody who you know.
Right.
And chances are that person is going to pull 1, 2 strings and do you a favor. And, there you get it. So relationships are important. And so it's important for us to keep that in mind. When we're talking about personal branding and the perception that people have of us generally.
But to play devil's advocate, outside of the comfort zone, outside of the norm, isn't that where the fun happens? Can't we go out on a limb and do something and ruffle a few feathers and be different and still maintain a particular image?
What I can say about that is there is a time and a place for everything. So I don't think it's a question of you always have to be there like a broomstick. But you need to know the time, you need to know that there is a place and a time for everything. So in terms of this, I mean, nobody is saying that you cannot ruffle your feathers a bit and you cannot party, you cannot enjoy yourself to a certain level. But in doing all of that, one still needs to be cognizant of the fact that you have to, whatever you do, so you will do it, it will have an effect, whether it be a positive one or a negative one.
Actions have consequences,
That's right. That's right. So true.
That is so true. And I think, especially when we think of our, I'm speaking now directly to our younger folks or job seekers or job hunters, individuals who are now leaving school, they have this challenge because I am telling you that social media is there. And we will use it as recruiters. We're going to use it.
And Wendel referenced
that. A lot of companies now are going that way because a lot of companies feel that outsourcing the HR to have a less biased approach in employing persons. They go out to seek to have persons recruit on their behalf. So these persons are now more stringent. They are more particular in the persons that they hire to send to the different firms. And HRWise is a perfect example. I don't think that you all would want to send anybody to my firm or to any other firm out there or company for employment, and then these persons, you come back and the results are not good. You are going to lose business. So you want to know that you have 100% success rate when you recruit somebody and you send them out. So recruiters will be out there scouting Facebook pages, Instagram pages, because even now when you do a few applications, even for international events which I've attended, they will ask you what's your Facebook what's your Facebook name,
on Facebook,
what's the link to your Twitter account, your LinkedIn account. So they really ask these things to go on to find out what you've been up to, what you're doing. So it does have an effect. It does have an effect.
I mean, we've been talking about this social media thing for quite some time. But for some reason, we're not getting through to the people who need it. Because we're still seeing too many young persons getting it wrong.
Well, I think it has to do with social skills, building social skills, especially at the school level. You have a lot of young persons, like you say, who leave school, and they still probably, I can safely say, they still do not have the basic skills as just preparing a basic CV or an employment letter. And
we know too well.
They come, they prepare these things, and you have all the kind of email addresses with sexy diva and sexy this and sexy that and bad boy this and rude boy that, and there is not a professional approach to the way. So even with saying that, it goes way beyond just you seeing that or saying that it does not get to the young persons. How do we get to them? How do we get to them? How do we get them to develop that soft skills that they so need in order for them to make that first step or transition from school into the workplace
like
or the
selling edge.
job? Or the job. So I think we lack that, especially in our society, that we not seeing that smooth transition from school, our school leavers into the workplace. And once we can bridge that
we
gap,
actually have a program.
Well, I don't know of it. I'd be happy to
We
hear
actually have a program called Edge, And it's a 3-week summer program. It's a workshop for students between the ages of 16 and 21.
Right.
And it's to do exactly that, to manage the transition from the school environment into the working environment.
Right.
So we literally go through all the topics that are of importance in that conversation and prepare them for that transition.
All right, well, that is very interesting, but we have to take just a tiny break. So grab your cup of coffee or tea and be right back with us on the other side. Thanks for staying with us.
I'm often asked, what's the best part of my job? And I'm quick to say, it's the tasty part. The presentation, the cooking, the creativity, the quality. The moment I peek to see another satisfied guest and client in all possible settings, cutting, biting, sharing, and smiling, knowing our team at GCG Events is simply outstanding.
The business environment is rapidly evolving. We must continually adapt to remain competitive. At HRWise, we help businesses create and sustain a competitive advantage through their people. Let us help you develop solutions for recruiting and selecting the right talent, improving employee engagement, managing performance, and much more. Realize the true potential of your workforce. Harness the power of your people. HRWise, we partner for success.
Great deal on my furniture. Great stuff. Super strong. Best thing on the market.
Your furniture says a lot about your business. For best quality, durability, and style, Global Office Furniture from Rennick is the only choice for any serious business. Don't be fooled by cheap supplies from other commercial houses. Let Global Furniture speak for your business. Think Rennick & Company. Think global, because value is always in style.
With God as my guide, I pledge allegiance to my country, St. Lucia. I proclaim that I will serve my country with pride and dignity, and will defend it with vigor and valor in the pursuit of excellence, justice, and equality for all.
My heart, my home, my St. Lucia. Show your sense of pride and patriotism.
Welcome back to the office. Thanks for staying with us. Throughout this episode, I think we've only touched the surface of what it means when we're speaking about personal branding. We have so much more that we can be talking about, but unfortunately, we are running out of time. But just to put things into perspective, I want to review really quickly what we're talking about when we broach the issue of personal branding. It's so much more than what's out there on social media. It's about your reputation, it's about who you are, it's about what you're known for. Right, Garrity?
Yes, absolutely. And that is reflected in not just, like you said, social media, but in the way you dress, the way you carry yourself, the way you speak, the people who you interact with, the things you get involved in. Yes. You know, so it's a host of things coming together to create this image of what you stand for and who you are.
Yes.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we have challenges in terms of individuals or younger generation developing that social, that personal branding and what it actually means for them to have an appreciation for projecting that right image out there. Isn't that so, Wendel?
Well, you can say that.
But all's not lost, is it?
Right. Once you present the opportunities for them to learn, because you know, as we grow, we learn. Yes. I mean, I'm not perfect sitting here. I mean, I've done mistakes. I've done a lot of things back then. I didn't just get where I am today. And, you know, once young people are given the opportunities, like she just highlighted a program that she runs, Edge. Opportunities like these, of course, will help in developing that personal branding, marketing, that aspect of a young person growing up. They're transitioning from school into work life, community life, church life. So it is not something that will happen overnight, So it's not like they're not getting it. I don't want to be too defensive of young people, but it's not an issue where they're not getting it. It's given, once the opportunities are provided for them, let us see how they are going to enhance themselves with these opportunities that will be provided. A lot of the time we give young people flack all over the place. Young people this, young people that. But my question I always pose to those who do it is, what opportunities have you provided for young people? Now, Ms. Paul have highlighted she has provided EDGE, and that's a summer program. So I can applaud her on that initiative and, you know, ask her to continue and also market it to get a wider range of young people coming in and get involved in programs such as this. But my take is that you want to see that young people change in terms of the way they brand themselves, in terms of how they enhance their social skills, their marketing abilities for whether it be employment, university, school, whatever it is. Give them the opportunity, and of course I am sure as a young person they will enhance it, they will take it and run with it.
Yes, thank you for that. But give me a little bit more about who you are. How did you get started? Of course it didn't come overnight.
Well, like I said, it did not. I started, you know, like I say, very young. I was a member of the Cadet Corps.
What drove you to join that?
The Cadet Corps, I always liked military stuff, and I think that I was a little very unruly and indisciplined in school, so I think it was something that would kind of shape me and straighten me up a bit, and I stayed in it for several years, and then after I moved into the Duke of Edinburgh program, where I bloomed, where I grew a lot, where it developed me a lot, and I could safely say that and attribute to the Duke of Edinburgh Award who I am, or perhaps my personal development today, because this program is a program I see that have transformed my life and has also transformed the life of other young persons that have been within that program. It's a non-formal education program for young persons between the ages of 13 and 25. You go through various levels of the award program as a young person. You can get your gold, silver, and bronze medal when you move from stages. In effect, what it does is it challenges you for you to get involved in community service, for you to get a skill, for you to get a required set of competency-based learning and standards, and then after you get that award, you know, you now feel fulfilled, you now feel empowered. And this is basically where I developed most of my leadership skills and public speaking skills.
And your brand.
And it assisted in me developing that brand that we speak of. I mean, there is still a lot to do. I mean, and also I want to attribute also who I am today because of the grace of God. I mean, I come from a very spiritual background. My parents have always encouraged me to go to church, to pray, to seek God's face, and I think God have done miraculous things for me and in who I am today. So now, that's basically who I am.
So the young people watching and looking up to you and other individuals who want to grow and develop, do you have any final words for them? What can they do to develop?
My final words to young persons out there is to believe in yourself. Believe that you can do it. Because for me, if I did not believe in myself and I probably looked up to friends or peers or teachers or lecturers to do what I want to do, I would not be able to do it. I think I can say that I did get discouraging words from some of my teachers, although some of them were very supportive, but some of them were, you know, if I had to listen to them, I don't think I would have been where I am today. So look within you, what you want to do, believe in yourself, you know, pray, trust in God, and then you will succeed.
Wow, very strong, very powerful words. Did you have any final words, anything about developing your personal brand?
Well, I think as young persons, we need to take it seriously. Well, I put myself in the category, I'm not that young, but young persons need to place a little more emphasis on developing their personal brand. So it means taking ownership for your personal development to the point where you enroll in perhaps workshops centered around how you can improve in that area. At HRWise, we offer various opportunities for young persons So, you know, you can reach out to us and see how best we can assist you to improve in that regard.
So you can send them a Facebook message. You're always on Facebook advertising. HRWise.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for taking me to that. Well, we've barely scratched the surface of personal branding and what it means. Trust me, we are going to be revisiting this topic. But unfortunately, we are so out of time. However, you can definitely catch up with us, like Wendel said, on social media. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. The handle is HRWise, INC. Or you can definitely give us a call at 458-4001. Reach out to us and we'll be more than happy to get back to you. Send us any questions or comments you may have. We're very happy to hear them. And thank you for staying with us. We will see you on the next episode of our office, where our door is always open.